Pep Talk UK in the building. It's Pro B's, aka Frankie B. I am here with the man himself, the WBO International Super Flyweight Champ. He is here. Sonny Edwards, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. Just finished training.
Yeah, so you know, I've rolled into sunny Sheffield, and it's a little bit different to where you're from, Croydon.
Yeah.
I mean, how have you managed your integration into Sheffield?
Well, I've been here 5 years now, apart from my 6 months long holiday when I was training in Marbella. And yeah, at first it was for uni, and I've settled in well. Do you know what I mean? Grant Smith, he's so much more than just my trainer. So as soon as he could be an amateur and pro coach again, after like I think my second pro fight, I came back. It made sense. I would never have left him if that was the case when I turned pro. And I love it up here. You know what I mean? I've got my best friends in the world up here now.
All your uni mates up here?
Nah, not uni mates. Like, I've still got a couple that I keep in contact with, but they're all the boys from the gym, really. Like, we're like a family. Obviously, I live with Levi Kinciona, who's 3-0. Got a fight coming up soon. So you know what I mean? We're all very, very tight knit. Do you know what I mean? He's not the biggest squad in the world, but do you know what I mean? We'll get along like a little family, and it's a good atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? You have to be made of a certain cloth to survive in this gym now, because it can get ruthless. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
but you know,
humour, but it can get ruthless.
Considering you're just returning from injury, I mean, I watched you, you know, hit the bags, hit the pads. I mean, you're still looking pretty sharp despite that layoff.
Yeah, more than anything, obviously, it's the back of my mind with the injury. And if I'm truth be told, I can't really feel it. It's not like I'm in agony or anything, or it's stopping me from training, or I haven't sparred yet with it, but I've done body sparring, and then that'll be over the next few weeks. I haven't ran yet either with it, because I've just been more precautious than anything. I'm doing a lot of swimming. Even though this is my first day in camp, the last 2 weeks I've spent doing a few swimming sessions here and there, a few bag sessions, a few strength and conditioning sessions, just to sort of break the ice of the conditioning. Because I did go from, obviously I had my Farag fight October, 7 weeks later I boxed Granados. 7 weeks later after that I hadn't done anything. Do you know what I mean? So it went from being busy to literally just sat on my arse for 7 weeks and ballooning up in weight. So more than anything it's the weight. And it's not too bad. I checked it today. I've got about 1.5 stone from fight night. I've got about 9 weeks, so it's nothing really. I've done more in a lot less time. Do you know what I mean? So I don't struggle to get down to super flyweight, and that's what my next fight will be at. So yeah. So
obviously just before your last fight as well, you were a new father. You had your son, Chance, and you've been basically now, you know, trying to balance out fatherhood with your career. I mean, how are you finding that? Because for most people, even in normal working 9 to 5s, I mean, they find that a challenge.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've got a certain set of responsibilities that I didn't have a few months ago. Do you know what I mean? That it does change your life. I'm quite lucky and quite blessed that the Chance's mother, she's a great mum. Do you know what I mean? And she's very understanding and very empathetic with my career. Because at the end of the day, she knows if I succeed and reach the heights of boxing career where maybe I would like to say destined, but you know the potential I may have, then that will change his life. I mean, that will provide a secure future for him. So she's very good with him. She knows, obviously, when I'm in camp, I'm not going to be able to be doing all the night shifts, and I need to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And I still see him pretty much every single day, though. I come from seeing him to training today, because he picks me up. Do you know what I mean? More than anything, he gives me a little boost to my day. But yeah, it'd be very, very hard if I didn't have a woman as understanding as the mother of my child. You know what I mean? She's a really good mum, and she's got a good family around her as well to support him. Yeah, those late nights, they're hard. Do you know what I mean? They're definitely hard. And I've been doing obviously more since I haven't been training, but now I'm back on it.
Yeah. What would you say? What would you say is a little bit more different, being full camp or doing the nights with the baby?
I'd rather be getting my head punched in the sparring, and then that when they're crying and they're not being quiet, it's hard. But I wouldn't change this little man for the world. Do you know what I mean? I feel so blessed to have him in my life. I think it's just it makes you as a man. Do you know what I mean? I've never really had too many other responsibilities other than looking after myself. Especially since 18, I've been pretty much independent. moved out of my family home, moved out of my family city. Do you know what I mean? So, and me and my brother have both been like that from an early age. We've been very independent. All our money comes from ourselves. I mean, we've not got no one. Do you know what I mean? Family wise, giving us money, just what we get from our box and our sponsors, and that's the way it is. So, really, we're invested in this. You know what I mean? We haven't got any. Well, we haven't got anything else, but we've like jumped in the deep end. You know what I mean? We're risking it all on trying to make something for the boxing career. And I'm looking now at what Charlie's just achieved and how his life has changed.
World champion.
And obviously the financial side of things, because obviously that's what we're in the pro game for. And it's all looking good for the future, you know what I mean? Hopefully, touch wood, I can get to the heights he has. I don't see no reason why not. I feel like me and him have operated at a very similar level for years. And we learn off each other, we bounce off each other, and the confidence that, you know what I mean, I spar him, and that, not trying to put down anyone else, but for my last few camps, I couldn't really tell you another person that's took a round off me. I don't think personally. Like, obviously, you might be a little bit biased when you're in there, but I mean, I've had some good sparring partners as well. But me and Charlie, we operate at a very high level, and I think maybe before 12 months ago, we both got laughed at a little bit before my Farag fight, before my Granados fight, before he's winning the world title. Because obviously boxing is a very fickle sport. Do you know what I mean? And even though I was calling out Paddy Barnes back then, and it didn't really have much substance, I think it's changed a hell of a lot now. I think the reaction you get now is, well, why isn't Paddy fighting him? Do you know what I mean? Because they expect what I did to Granados, what I did to Farag would happen to him. And just like Charlie was at one point when he vacated his British title, because he was sort of promised a big fight, that fell through. Then he had what, a couple of 8-rounders. Do you know what I mean? There was a stage where who was Charlie with his career's going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? And we had to live through that. He had to live through that. Do you know what I mean? And it's those demons that sort of. There was times he came in the gym when I was in the camp for my Farag fight just after it got announced, broke down in tears in front of Grant and said he didn't want to box no more.
Wow.
I think that was late September.
Wow.
Look at the change in four months.
Yeah, I mean, look at the change. I mean, Charlie, you know, seen him from the Adam Booth days when he was training with Adam Booth in South London. He's a dedicated man. I know you're a dedicated man as well. And I know he had a lot to overcome, especially with the Casemiro defeat as well. I mean, did you feel like at that time you had to also, you know, give him a bit of a pep talk to keep him going? And, you know, now he's sort of advising you on how to achieve world honours. Is that right?
It's a weird one with me and Charlie. Just our personalities. Like, he would more time come to me asking for advice than I would go to him. I'm not saying my way is right. I'm not saying his way is wrong, or vice versa. But just how we deal with things. You know what I mean? I'm very much on. I like doing things off my own back. You know what I mean? Then I've got no one else to blame. I've always been like that. He likes opening up to people. Sometimes
consultation.
Yeah, sometimes too easy. He likes to open up to people, but just the way he is. And of course.
I see you're not afraid to tell it how it is, especially on Twitter.
The thing is, he knows it.
You go in, brother. You go in, man.
On a personal side of things, if he knows if he's asking my opinion, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell him my opinion, and at the end of the day, I'll tell him, look, I'm not right, I'm not wrong. If you ask my opinion, then I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to say it how I think it is, my truth. And that's always the way that I deal with things. I might rub a lot of people up the wrong way by doing so, but at the same time, I hope a lot of people will gain their respect because I am open. Do you know what I mean? No matter what it is, I feel like I'm like that. I like being quite open because at the end of the day, if you care about someone, then you telling them the truth, they're going to fall out at you over your opinion, and clearly not as close to you as you thought you was. Do you know what I mean?
So let's talk about the Granados fight. You know, you obviously was victorious. They're picking up the WBO, the International Super Flyweight title. Have you had a chance to reflect and watch the fight back? And obviously there's that one knockdown, but...
Yeah, I watched it that night. I've watched it a few times since. When I'm bored, I'll just put it on. And getting out of the ring, the only thing I was focusing on was getting knocked down. I'd never touched the canvas before, pro, amateur sparring, ever. So that was a big thing for me. Not that it bothered me, like I got up in 2 seconds and I came straight out and put him on the back foot, do you know what I mean? And it wasn't like I was hurt at all. It caught me round the back of the head, and my weight rolled over my ankle. That's why I ruptured 2 ligaments on it. Do you know what I mean? And then I had to box 8.5 rounds with completely 2 torn ligaments. So there was a lot of things in my head. So that's maybe I sat down on the side of the ring. I was maybe a bit more negative when I was interviewed by BT Sport, and maybe the interviews after, because that was the focal point for me. And that's kind of perfectionist. You know what I mean? I don't like, for me, winning every single round. And even that round, really, I think 2 judges gave that a 10-9, not a 10-8. Do you know what I mean? Because I dominated the round from every part, apart from that one shot. But me, I'm a perfectionist. The same way as when I was an amateur, getting to an ABA final wasn't good enough. Do you know what I mean? And that's always the way I've been. I don't strive to be second place. I don't strive to be anything but the best. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was a lapse of concentration. I sort of switched off because the first round and up to that point was relatively easy, and I didn't realise maybe...
It just takes a blink of the eye sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you see the shot as well, it was round the side of it. It was literally the back of my head. More than anything, it was the back of my head. It wasn't even the side, it was like up here. But that's taking nothing away from Granados. It was very tough and it woke me up, and really, after that, you can make an argument that I won every single round. I think one judge gave him another round from that. But yeah.
I mean, it's better for it to happen now, rather than, you know, say for instance you were in a world title fight. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, but I don't think it's. I think it's clear there that it wasn't that I can't take a shot. It's not like, cause I took a few solid shots that fight. I took a few solid shots against Farag, and I'm there. So I mean, I can take a shot. That one's got me equilibrium, and I was up in 2, and I had a clear head. If I was hurt, I would have stayed down, took the count, but I weren't. I got up, my leg was hurt, and that was about it. But yeah, of course we reflected, and that was a weird fight for me, really. I don't know what it was, but I didn't have the same sort of adrenaline and vibe that I had going into the Farag fight.
Yeah, because there was a lot of beef. Sometimes beef does get you going.
Yeah, and the fact that it was a weird camp. It was a very, very weird camp. I had only 4.5 weeks notice. I originally took a fight against Charlie Hoy, and then I don't want to say he pulled out. I don't know what happened there, to be honest. I never really cared enough to ask. But I was offered Charlie Hoy to defend my title. I said yes. The next day, Charlie Hoy doesn't want to fight no more. So, looked for an opponent. I was like, I want a good opponent. I want one that people know. And they come back with Granados. And they was like, but we understand it's on the tape. So, I mean, you haven't done anything for 2.5 weeks. You're 4.5 weeks out. At this stage of your career, you don't need to be taking risks like this. Like, Granados took Jamie Conlon through absolute hell when he fought him. Put him down twice, and then he stopped him. The Mexicans, because I had a few interviews with Mexican press and stuff, they were convinced that he was robbed. I personally believe that Granados did win, just close, but I sided. But at the same time, I could see why Conlon would nick it on the home side, and he was outboxing him at times. So, yeah, like I knew he could hit. He beat that Alison Pacites, who drew with Donny Nietzsche for the world title. In like a couple of fights before, he beat Rocky Mex, who was 16-0 before he fought me. Knocked him out in the 12th round or 10th round, whatever the last round was. So I knew he was dangerous. You know what I mean? But I'm not in this sport to make my name of fighting terrible fighters. You know what I mean? Even like for my next fight that I've just been given a date for, it's supposed to, I don't know, it's supposed to be my comeback, and with a bigger fight lined up in the summertime for a big title 12 rounder, but a domestic fight. But I don't want no easy blowout. Do you know what I mean? That's not, I don't want it on my record. Do you know what I mean? We've put a few opponents forward, having a conversation about it now, and there's an unbeaten fighter in there, 15-0. There's another opponent, I think got 16 wins, 13 knockouts. Another one's boxed my brother, took him the distance. Do you know what I mean? So we've put a few, obviously this is all at the moment perspective, like,
just talks.
Yeah, it's just talk. There's us putting it. None of these opponents have been asked yet. Do you know what I mean? But these are the fights we want. We don't want no easy pushovers, because I won't get up for that. Yes, I'm coming off an ankle injury, but at the end of the day, in my head, it went as bad as it can go. Because obviously when the ligament actually snapped, that's when it's sore. Do you know what I mean? So it went as bad as it can go, and I got through 8.5 rounds against a tough fighter in Granados. So. I've recovered it, I've rested it, and now I'm doing my easing back into it. and by 4 weeks' time from now I'll be 100% firing. So I'm getting fit and building up to that, and then I'm smashing the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, however long I've got from there to my fight.
So you're talking about potentially at a later date this year fighting for maybe British or Commonwealth?
Well, that's what we're looking at, British. It's vacant. It's been a bit of a frustrating one because I put in for it a few times and that seemed to be like ignored. Do you know what I mean? And Farag and Jay Harris got mandated the day after me and Farag's fight got made. They went to purse bids, but because I think Farag already had a good fight, no one even went in for the purse bids because he was getting decent money to fight me. Do you know what I mean? Headlining the show. And obviously I beat Farag convincingly, so the other option, who's to fight for the British title, me and Jay Harris. Jay Harris is a good friend of mine. We spent 3 weeks in Ukraine sharing a little room together, and we really get on. He was at my Granados fight, shouting me on the whole way through. Wow. He was in my change room before the fight. Like, I was meant to be going to his Ross Murray fight, but that got moved, and then I think that was in between the Farag and Granados fight, and I think my baby was due, and that was the reason I didn't go. Something along those lines. But yeah, like we're good friends. You know what I mean? Very good friends. But at the end of the day, it's business. We've both got little families to provide.
Still got to secure the bag.
Yeah, secure the bag. And at the end of the day, like super flyweights in Britain, there's not many more better fights than me and Jay at the moment, especially at British level for a British title. Like the only one I could think of is Charlie and Cal. Do you know what I mean? And Jay's 15-0 or 14-0. I expect he'll be 15-0 come the 1st of March when he boxes an MTK show. And I should be 11-0. I expect before I fight him. So we're both world ranked. I'm 33rd in the world box rec rankings with super flyweight. He's something similar at flyweight, and he's Commonwealth champion. And he's a great fighter, a fighter I really rate as well. But you know, at the end of the day, we're not in this game to make friends, even though we are friends. But like I said, we both got little families to feed, and if it's a good purse, a good platform, then the winner goes on and the loser can come again because we're both good fighters. And even for the loser of that fight, it should open up loads of streams of other fights as well. Because other domestic fighters, you think, okay, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to do, and it makes someone maybe the gatekeeper and someone goes straight onto that European world level.
So, any plans for Paddy Barnes? Is that totally dead overall?
Well, I'm still here.
Won't give you the fight.
He's never entertained an offer really. The fight got tried to get made for the 14th of April last year, the Carl Frampton Nonito Donaire card as main support. He wouldn't take it. Remember, his trainer's my ex-trainer, and I've spoken to his ex-trainer. He wouldn't put Paddy with me, and rightfully so. I'm all wrong for him. You know what I mean? I'm all wrong for him. And it's not that I don't rate him as a fighter, I just think he's way past it. I think he's not shown anything in a professional ring worth talking about. He stopped that kid with a good body shot, but that kid couldn't move around the ring without like clumsily knocking his feet over. So for me, that stands for nothing. Do you know what I mean? I think I've got a clear 2 better wins on my name, on my record, than he has in Farag and Granados. I don't think he would fight someone like Granados. I think he would avoid him like the plague. His comeback fight in America is someone that's had like 11 wins and I think no knockouts or 1 knockout and a couple losses or something along those lines. So he was even offered. Well, I say he was offered the fight. Charlie obviously has a voluntary defence. Paddy Barnes called him out. Charlie was put to the management team. I'll fight Paddy Barnes next. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? That's an easy fight. And from our knowledge, our mutual management didn't even put it to Paddy. He's like, no, it's a terrible fight for him, and it ends his career as well. It ruins it. It lost to me or Charlie. It finishes his career. Puts the last nail in the coffin. Especially after Paddy got wiped out by Rosales in 4, and then Charlie went on to beat him. Like convincingly enough that no one argued really with the decision. I didn't see anyway. We all was confident Charlie won by the final bell, and Rosales' team clearly thought they'd lost. So I think it shows clear levels, and I think Charlie would absolutely torture Paddy Barnes. I think I'd absolutely torture Paddy Barnes, but it's something that it's getting to the point where it's not really worth mentioning it, because no matter I don't think I could win any amount of titles or get any amount of platform that would get him in the ring with me, because he knows what would happen. Do you know what I mean? He's very aware that my style's all wrong for his anyway, and let alone I'm much fresher than him, I'm much fitter than him. So there's not really, maybe strength-wise he's got the upper hand strength, but that means very little with timing, movement, with like reactions, reflexes. You know what I mean? There's too many pieces of the pie to just try and rely on strength, and he wouldn't knock me out. No way. He wouldn't break me down either, because he's not fit enough. So he's not really worth talking about more than that.
Right. Just to conclude, from your selection of music that I'm hearing in the gym when you're working out, training, Cadet.
Yeah,
Grandma's Cadet. R.I.P. Cadet.
Do you know what, I've been, and a lot of people have vouched, I've been a big Cadet fan for a good few years now. Like, I'm talking, I put so many people onto him, his freestyles and that hit me more than I expected something like that would, to be honest. Because I'm one of those people that, you know, when these celebrities sort of die, or these artists or whatnot, it don't really hit home. Like, I just think, oh, I didn't really know him. Do you know what I mean? As dread as that sounds, that's just me, innit? But yeah, it was mad. It was mad to wake up to that news the other day. And someone I used to like, or a few lads I used to train with, like the Wallaces and that, are related to him. So my feelings go out to that. Oh, here we go.
Right. R.I.P. Cadet.
R.I.P.
We'd also like to wish you all the best for your comeback fight, and hopefully some straps will be due.
Some new ones.
2019, baby.
2019.
Sonny Edwards.